I have worked as a data scientist in the US tech industry for over 10 years now. I've worked for some of the biggest tech names in the world like Meta, Cisco, and Wells Fargo. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the exact blueprint which I would use if I had to start from scratch with no prior experience and want to get a data science job in under 6 months. I believe any aspiring data scientist who have a real passion for the field, regardless of what their starting point is, if they follow this blueprint, they can also land a data science job within 6 months. So this is what my blueprint for the 6 month looks like. The very first thing you have to be very, very cautious about is that data science involves multiple skills, multiple tools, multiple frameworks. You need to learn different kind of programming languages like SQL, Python. A lot of people say you might need to know R, you might need to know Scala. And then there are different libraries and tools and cloud services, which a lot of people would argue that you need to learn. So there are definitely 100 plus tools which you need to learn if you want to become a data scientist. That is what most people believe. And the thing is that most of these things, you can spend 2-3 years, even 5 years trying to master them and still sort of feel that you have not fully conquered and mastered it. So if you go on that route, on trying to learn as many things as possible, there is a really good chance that you would spend a couple of months, maybe a year, if you are very, very motivated, and then it will lead to burnout because you still won't have a resume you are proud of. You still don't feel like you are ready to start applying, and that would lead to no job, of course, and all the effort you have wasted. Months and months of effort trying to learn different skill set, that will lead you nowhere. So the main idea I'm going to focus in this video is that you have to cut 90% of the noise. Whenever you're trying to look at different job descriptions and trying to go through different bootcamp courses and YouTube videos and Coursera and Udemy courses, always keep in mind that 90% of that is noise and 10% are the core skills which you need to learn in order to become a successful data scientist. Now, this video is not fully about the roadmap on what you should be learning from where. If you want my free roadmap, the link for that guide is in the description. But the core idea I'm trying to convey here is that you should just focus on some very few essential fundamental skills which have been there for a very long time and are going to be still relevant if you want to become a data scientist. And that mainly boils down to your knowledge about SQL, your knowledge about Python, and your knowledge about machine learning. These are the technical skills, and then you require some non-technical skills like problem solving, leadership skills, effective communication, and influence. But start with these. Learn a little bit of these. Again, Pareto principle of 80-20 analysis is your best friend. Look at what are the 20% of the skills you need to learn to be able to apply for 80% of the jobs. And once you know those, most likely it will be these 3-4 skills. Then within each of these, within SQL, see what are the 20% of the SQL commands which get used 80% of the time. And then same goes for Python, same goes for machine learning, anything you're trying to learn. 80-20 analysis or this Pareto principle is your best friend so that you remain very focused on just learning enough that you start creating your first portfolio project. Your mindset should be not that of a student who is passively trying to learn one thing after another, but it should be of creator who just know enough that they can get started in creating something which they can demonstrate to the world, which they can discuss with different people, and which they are actually proud of. And most likely that kind of portfolio project is what gets you hired rather than reading books after books or going through one course after another. Here are some recent facts which I think you should remember. One is that 62% of data scientists are career switchers, which means that they have come from some other background. If 62% of the people can do it, you can definitely do it as well. And the second thing is that portfolio project, it speeds up your hiring by 45%, which also sort of essentially means that you have almost double the chances of getting hired if you build some good portfolio project, which you are proud of. So your blueprint for the next 6 months is not a master's degree. You're trying to learn from different courses and you have no clear sense on what you're learning in all those different courses come together and what is the link between each of these, and then what is the practical application for all the theoretical knowledge which you're gathering. So this blueprint is not that master's program. Instead, it is building one portfolio project, which is very deep, which is very specialized into one business problem which you're trying to solve. And through that project, you demonstrate that you have the ability to create business value. Let me share with you a story of a person I was mentoring. He was from New York City. He was working in healthcare industry as a junior analyst. That person had already done 2 masters. And then he was still not feeling confident enough that he could start applying for data science jobs. And he reached out to me and said, I'm thinking that I'm doing one more master's because this new master is going to be much more relevant to the field of data science and I'll be able to learn more things. And it is slightly better university, which means I have a much even better credential to put in my resume. And the discussion I had with him is that, look, you would be spending close to 2 years of your time on that master's. You would be spending close to $40,000 on that master. It is much better that you save all this effort and spend a fraction of it on building one killer project which is related to his current field of healthcare. And somehow I convinced him to do that. And he built that one portfolio project, which was solving one very specific kind of business problem. And then he put it in his resume and then he started applying. And a lot of people were curious about his project and he started having some conversation. And because he had some background in healthcare industry, and then he had built a project which was solving one concrete business problem he has seen a lot of healthcare companies coming across. A lot of people were interested in seeing that what was his solution, what was his approach, and what kind of business impact that project led to. And that got him hired in the next 4 months. Now, if he had spent 2 years on the master's program and after that started applying, I'm pretty sure he would have been feeling the same imposter syndrome he was feeling after completing his 2 prior masters, and his odds of landing a job would not have improved at all. Whereas just focusing on building one portfolio project, which he can have some very educated, very productive discussion with the hiring manager, with other people who are working on the same kind of problem, that opened up many more opportunities for him than that this master's degree would have. When you are trying to learn data science, keep in mind that the data science job market of 2025 and beyond is going to value T-shaped data scientists. These are the people who know a little bit about everything, SQL, Python, everything. And then they pick one thing and they go really, really deep into this because this is your core competence and this is what actually gets you hired. And this is what hiring managers actually value. So the 6-month blueprint at a high level looks like in the month 1 and 2, you just build the essential foundations of SQL, Python, machine learning, etc. Just learn bare bones. And this is where you should be spending about 2 months. Again, do 80-20 analysis extensively. Then 3 to 4 months is when you will be building your portfolio project. Again, pick one thing and go really, really deep into it. When picking a thing, make sure that you pick something which businesses are willing to pay money for. It should be such a burning problem for the businesses. And then month 5 to 6 is that when you start applying. And this is not you just get one generic resume and then you start bombarding all the data science jobs you come across. It is much more about you build what you define, what is your core competence, what is one thing you have developed deep expertise in by virtue of your portfolio project, and then figure out what kind of companies are looking for that role, and then customize your resume. Reach out to people who are working on that project, the hiring manager, the recruiter. Try to show them that this is the portfolio project you have built, which is very similar to what kind of problems they are trying to solve, and start some conversations from there. Your odds of landing a job that way is much better than just mass applying and then just hoping then someone hires you because you are also a data scientist, just like 1,000 other applicants who have applied for that job. Now let's talk the nitty-gritties of the project playbook. First of all, you should try to solve a real business problem. As I said, try to pick a problem which businesses are actually willing to pay money for. Don't solve iris dataset. Don't even solve house pricing dataset because that is the problem which has already been solved. Not a lot of companies are looking for that kind of solution. So pick something which companies are actually trying to solve on a day-to-day basis and spend some time trying to figure out such problems. churn can be one of them. Retention analysis can be one of them. There are just hundreds of such opportunities within healthcare, within marketing, and a lot of other industries. So figure out some business problem which companies are trying to solve and companies are willing to pay money for, and then master just 3 to 4 foundational skills. Again, it boils down to SQL, Python, machine learning, a little bit of statistics, so that you could do some hypothesis testing and you could do some A/B testing, so that you know what is hypothesis testing and how do you run A/B tests, etc. And then figure out what is one good quality real world data set which you can find. I don't care if you have to spend 2 weeks just trying to find this data set, but just don't pick something off the shelf from Kaggle because you're feeling lazy. Spend some time trying to find something which is of good quality, which is real. And then when you're trying to solve a business problem on some real world messy data set, usually the outcome of that is very impressive. And then you take that V1 of your portfolio project, and you don't even have to write all the code. AI can help you write a lot of code. You should try to create one-pager document which you can share with other people, or you put it on your resume, or create a GitHub repo, and then reach out to people who are working on the similar kind of problem and reach out and connect and say, okay, this is what I've built around this problem. I believe you're also working on a similar kind of problem. Can you please provide me some feedback? And a lot of people would be very curious to see what you have done there and would be willing to discuss with you what are things you have tried and what are the things they have tried. And both parties can have a very knowledgeable discussion around that. So don't chase million projects, 5 to 8 small portfolio projects. Pick one thing and then just go really, really deep into it. While picking the thing, make sure that it is not something which is very corner case, that not a lot of companies would actually be trying to solve that problem. Try to figure out something which is a pain point for a lot of companies, and then try to build that solution using a real world data set. Another quick case study to show with you to better demonstrate what I'm trying to say is one student which I was mentoring. She was previously working as a marketing manager, and then she had created, just like most people are doing, a generic resume, and then were applying to most jobs and were not getting any responses. So when I started mentoring her, I asked her to stop spending time on this tutorial hell and then just watching one thing after another, in a hope that you would somehow learn a lot of things and then you can stand out against competition. And I recommended her that she should tap into her prior knowledge of marketing. And then based on that, she started creating a very deep dive into a churn project. And the thing which really impressed me about her project is that she documented every step very, very well. Her GitHub README file was very well documented. She created a one-page document which was very easy to read, very to the point, and she was concretely conveying what kind of business impact her project can provide to the business. She even created a 2 to 3 minute, very short Loom video in which she explained what she did, how she did, and what is the business significance of that. And then that one project became the cornerstone of her resume, because then she was not applying to all the jobs. She was only applying to the role of marketing data scientist. And most marketing data science teams are trying to solve the churn problem. When someone sends them a resume which has a Loom link and a GitHub link with a very clean README, and they can demonstrate they have done a lot of extensive research into the churn problem and tried different things and have come up with some concrete suggestion, a lot of people are willing to have a conversation with her. And most of her interviews were around that project and what she did and how she did. And she had no problem landing her first job as a data scientist. So the two main mistakes I've seen people making a lot is that you are not your resume. Do not overspend time trying to perfect your resume. Resume is important, but what you put in the resume is much more important. And what you can explain in your resume is even more important. Keep in mind that most recruiters and hiring managers are not spending more than 5 to 7 seconds on your resume. They just have a quick glance at it, and if something stands out, that's when they go deep. So instead of trying to perfect every single detail about your resume, try to see that what kind of one portfolio project you can build, which you can put in the highlight summary of your resume, so that when someone is looking at your resume, ideally, whatever problem they're trying to solve, your highlight summary shows a portfolio project which actually also solves the same kind of problem. And then you are showing some business significance of what business impact your solution can bring to the table. There is a really good chance that they would invite you to the next rounds of interviews. And the other mistake I've seen a lot of people making is that they become certificate collector. It's very easy to just binge watch some course on Udemy and Coursera and keep adding those certificates to your resume. Honestly, that does not indicate anything to me as a hiring manager when someone has said that they have added this 10 certificates about different edX and Coursera and Udemy courses. I just call it resume padding. You are unnecessarily increasing the length of your resume, which makes it difficult for the hiring managers and the recruiters to find out the stuff which actually matters. So this is what your 7-day action plan looks like if you want to embark on this 6-month long journey, which will almost guarantee you that you'll land the data science job. Is that first you pick a problem you care about. Now, bonus points if you could pick a problem which businesses also care about. So when you're picking a problem, there are two axes generally you should be keeping in mind. One is that what is your interest in that problem? And the other axis you should be considering is that what is the hiring manager's interest in that problem? And ideally, you should try to find something where the hiring manager interest is also high as well as your interest. For example, I gave you the example of the person I'm mentoring who had a lot of interest around for solving churn problem. A lot of hiring managers also have a lot of interest in solving churn problem. But it's also possible that you work on something which is very near and dear to you. For example, 7-8 years ago, I spent a lot of time trying to build some predictive modeling around the cricket game. Now that was high on my interest, but of course, hiring managers won't have a lot of interest in that. So bonus points if you can find a problem which is of high interest to the hiring managers as well as yours. And then you have to find a relevant data set. Again, spend 2 to 3 days. Do a lot of Googling. Ask Gemini, Claude, ChatGPT. Enable the deep research when you're trying to do this kind of research with the AI tools. And figure out what kind of real world messy data sets you can find to solve this business problem. And then start with a very simple solution. Don't overthink in the initial version. Use the help of AI tools as much as possible so that you have the V1 draft by the end of 7 days. And then you can use that to create a 1-page document or put it in your GitHub or in your resume. And then start reaching out to people on LinkedIn. Hey, this is what I'm thinking about building. Since you're already working on this problem for a long time in industry, can you please provide me some feedback? Even if they do not jump on a call with you and just send you 2 to 3 bullet points on what you can do, now you have opened up a new relationship to whom you can reach out when you make iterations in your project. You have also learned something new about that portfolio project based on which you can further make it better and better. And if you just keep going that route for a couple of more months, what you would realize is that you would be harnessing more technical knowledge because you're actually building something. Also, you would be building a lot of new connections because you are reaching out to people, getting feedback about the portfolio project. And then most importantly, you have a portfolio project which is very impressive and which can become a cornerstone, the central piece of your resume. And that is the project you're going to be discussing in most of your interview calls. And that's the best bet you have to impress the hiring managers. Again, if you need my full roadmap on what you should be learning, from where you should be learning, the link for that free PDF is in the description below. Please check it out. Thank you so much for watching.